Hello, everyone. I'm still getting into my office. Um, hey,
Hey everyone.
how are you? I am going to, hold on, I'm opening stuff. Okay, so if you are not one of the PIs on the project, then you are not responsible for actually submitting the report. But the person who is PI at your institution may ask you for input. So I don't think it's necessary for students and postdocs to hang out and watch this process unless you want to, in which case you're welcome. Um, so stay on at the beginning, but then at some point I'm just gonna say that it's okay to leave. Okay. I have made a document. Kartik, do you have any idea if Narasimha will be able to join today? Didn't mark out, but
He might be out today.
okay. Well, he's one that I really need input from. Um, sorry, I didn't mean to make you accountable for him.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think he has an all-day faculty meeting, something today.
Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. Putting the, do y'all remember how this went last year? I made reports for everyone. It's a stupid process. Um, and because this is a collaborative project, so each institution has to submit their own. But then what we really want to do is show that we are working together. So it is kind of silly to submit our own. So what I did last year was um, I had everybody else kind of do something like the minimum of what you did. But Yale was pretty far ranging. Um, and so I think that more went in there. Chris, I think you just described your interviews. Ryan, I think you put some discussion in the Fort Collins report, and Stacy, I think I don't remember what you did. And so it would be good to get those filled in soon. And then, so I could take a look at them. And then I write the Fort Collins report, kind of tagging what has been done. So Stacy, Chris, and then Kartik, and I'll shake down Narasimha outside. Um, if those could get filled in, that in the drive, what you submitted last year is in there, so it can give you some guidance. It's not in that folder that I put, but it's in a parallel folder. And then I think this should be easy. I hate to say it's going to be easy because then we always hit snags, but we wrote a lot for the report, and I will put a shortcut to it in this folder as well. I haven't done that yet. Um, And so I feel like we should just be able to paste stuff in from the report largely. But I don't want to have to do that myself for reports, so I would be very grateful if y'all would do it. Anyway, so that's the game on this. This is due on September 30th. I would ordinarily have started it earlier, but it has like so little bearing on anything that happens to us in the future that I I have not been motivated to try to put a lot of effort in. And plus we did already put in quite a lot of effort in summarizing in the report that we wrote in May. So I feel like we're fine. I am leaving on the 26th and I will be completely offline, and that's the 26th of September. And I will not be able to do anything between that and when it's due. So I want this done by then. But ideally, like, maybe you all could say, given what you know about your workload, like when you think you could have yours done. And Kartik, again, I apologize for having you speak for Narasimha. It's not fair to you and certainly doesn't represent what he's thinking. But maybe from Stacy and Chris, I could get some idea of when you could fill it in.
Should be able to get my part done next week, and can paste everything in there. But I'm sort of fishing around a little bit, and it's definitely my fault, but I'm having trouble finding last year's.
Okay, I will put the link. Why don't I just link in that folder? So if everybody could bookmark that folder, I will put shortcuts in that folder to the other things that you might need. Bookmark this folder, and then I'll shortcut everything else, if that makes sense. Doing it now. I don't want to do it while we're talking. So people who, okay, and then Ellison and Ryan, you're contributing to the Fort Collins report. You don't, I've already written the first section, like what are the objectives? Because I just take that out of the proposal. You do not have to do that. And so maybe I can put call outs where I think your contribution should be in the Fort Collins report. Yep, okay. I will get that done today. And for Naomi, you have no responsibilities because you just got here. That's great. Kartik, I'm guessing that you're going to end up being called on for quite a lot of content.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
I think realistically, would be the week of the 15th. So maybe at some point during that week, we should be done or have something
okay,
in there.
okay, and you have an interview coming up.
Yeah, well, that's why. Yeah, it's going to be the week of the 15th. So it's going to
Oh,
be
it's
after my
after you get
travels.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, week of 15th. Okay, that'll be cutting it a little bit close. Roy, Jewel, and Zara, I will speak with you separately about what I want to see from you. And callouts will be in there. So are you both free to contribute right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And Ellison, you're gonna have callouts, and does that work for you just to communicate where you are?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I want to make this quick because it's like a zero a zero gain exercise, right? Stacy, do you have a thought about
I
when
can
you-
do it next week and have it done before next Friday, but do you need it sooner?
No, that's
Okay.
fine. Next
That's fine.
Friday. And then warning, I won't be here next Friday. Ryan has agreed to do something. Kristen, if you could start the meeting and record it. Why are you so happy there, Ryan?
Oh, I was gonna make a joke in the chat. Wait, what am I doing? No, I know. what I'm
Okay.
doing. Well, I don't actually know what I'm doing. That's why I'm presenting. So,
Oh, okay, you're gonna present that you don't know what you're doing. Well, I think we keep doing that. That's kind of par for the course.
yeah.
So keep up the good work there.
Mhm.
Okay, so and then when I get back, I will review. I will review Stacy's and Chris's, and then I'll hound Yale. Okay. So and then does anyone, oh, I need to say one other thing. If you have current and pending support, if you have other grants, you are going to need a revised current and pending support in NSF format, and they change it like every 4 months. So it always happens that I feel like I'm done with the progress report, and then I'm not, because I need to go chase everybody for their current and pending in NSF format. I suggest that you do the very tedious step now, PIs, if you have other support. If you don't, you're lucky in this way that you don't have to deal with it, because when it says, has your support changed, you just check no, and it goes on. But if you do, go into your report now, which you can do, and go to the personnel section. And if you're a PI, that'll be called out, and fill in your contribution and so on. And then try to upload your current and pending. It's like really stupid, but it is a thing. And what they're really trying to do is make sure that you're not selling secrets to China, but they have a very roundabout way of doing it. So again, what we don't want to do is have a report go overdue. That makes it so NSF everywhere will not do anything, will not take any action, and so on. So that means you're in the naughty bin, and you have to get out of the naughty bin before you can proceed. Does anyone have questions about that or what's expected? Okay, I said I was going to let the students and postdocs go, but I want to share one other thing, and then maybe we can this was the second thing on the agenda. Okay. So what I'm finding is that we can keep chugging along, and we should finish our products. But I'm having a really hard time as we get into other potential funding, like the Illinois electrification thing. We're taking bits of what we have done for Respect and spinning them off. I'm having a hard time managing the work streams, like a split one that might be that's probably ending, we have to wind it down, and then one that is spinning up along the same lines because we want to do the work. And so it'll continue. And so I have started thinking in this way. I still think of us as a team, even though NSF didn't want to fund us as a team. And it could be that we're not all going to be on a Friday morning meeting for the rest of our lives, thank God. But it could be that some of these things keep going forward. And what I want to do for in the near future, like before I leave, I would like to get people to agree on what our goals are. And as I was kind of unpacking this, I was realizing that we were trying to convince NSF that we had a single goal and that we needed to do all this stuff. And then it was hard for me to get my head around, exactly what the goal of each thrust was. So we did this theme exercise last fall, and this is very similar, but I would love to work with each person individually to figure out what the goals are. So for example, Ryan, Chris, I know there's a plan to continue interviews. What is the purpose of that? Right? So I might ask for a meeting with just the two of you and then tell everybody else we're having a meeting and you can join in if you want. What is the goal? Why do we need to do more interviews? I know we feel like we do. I don't doubt that there's a drive behind it, but I'd like to figure that out. Likewise, Stacy, I've been saying, I want to talk to you, right? That I really feel like there's something missing from the way we engage. And so after the Healthy Housing Coalition, I was sad that you could not attend because you would have had fun. I I felt like, yes, it's really important for us to maintain a network. Why? And not everything has to be a why, like I'm going to get something academic out of it or somebody's going to reward me. It has to be like so that I retain information or so that I'm aware of things that are really happening, but I'm not sure we all have the same goal. And I'm not sure that other teams might know what our goal is within a sub team. So I just wanted to share that. If anyone wants to work on this now, that's fine. But I figured the meeting would be too short to do with everybody, and we may not want to do it in that way. But I just wanted to share that I'm trying to think about that, and I feel like that's going to be a key thing for our transition to this kind of work connecting, but funded under separate revenue streams. Any thoughts on that? Is it like too, I don't know, is it too demanding to set a goal for why we're doing stuff? Is it like not, or does it feel false in some way? Because that could be a problem.
Maybe something that I'm wondering about is this like goals for this group's engagement and continued engagement together, or is it sort of like kind of understanding where everybody is at as they kind of like go off into the world, so you know you can call on them for something in the future if an interest or partnership arises?
I think it's a little of both.
Okay.
And so again, in the case of engagement, I feel and have felt for a long time that it is important to retain contact with the people that you believe will benefit from your work, as well as people that might be tangential, because you might find out they are not tangential, but directly relevant. And so that's a principle, right, of mine. I don't know why I have it though. And I don't know what I'm seeking. I know I'm seeking something because I have this drive, but I don't know what I'm looking for. And so that, for me, I need to do a better job of describing what guides me. And for people who also have the same goal or who have that same drive, can we get our heads around what we're commonly seeking? Now, it might be that other members of this team like that other people are doing that, and they want to eventually ask those people for advice, or something might come up, but they're not going to be part of the people pushing it forward. So when I say both, it's like that. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
I think one challenge for me in thinking about it is like it's very dependent on like who can be central to pushing those forward is very dependent on what our individual jobs are. So like, I have a hard money position. And so like I can work on whatever I want and like the liberal arts college is happy to pay me for half of my time to do that. Which makes it really easy to say like, yeah, I can be committed to moving this thing forward that I was already interested in. Um, but I think like if you're a postdoc or a grad student, that's a lot harder to do because you don't know where that next bit of money is going to come from. And in those positions, you have to really chase that. And so someone might be sent like say, yes, I'd like to do this, but I have to do this other thing. And I think that's always
Well,
a tension.
no, I agree. I mean, we, like right now, right, who is going to move some of this forward? We may not know, and we may have to say, we would love to do this, but we do not have the support for it, or we don't have the bandwidth.
Yep.
That's going to happen. But that is different from identifying those things that we have had a drive to do as part of this team. So as part of this team, we did have that motivation, and it seemed to be fairly natural in most of the people who participated. And so while we're there now, can we describe what we have been wanting to do? Because I think that's also a prerequisite to being able to craft a way in which to do them. Okay, so if other people don't have anything to say about that, I might bother you separately.
Was your plan to have individual discussions with us all? Was that what you were thinking?
Or sort of cluster discussions, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna fit those in. And then I have a big chunk of time off. So I'm gonna try to get a lot in before I leave, but then I can also see the time like yeah, so I'll be back mid-October, and then I may have forgotten all about this and I won't do any of it. Just kidding, I'll be back.
I do think like one thing about like to me, it is really nice to know, even if someone's like, I don't have time to work on it, that like I would love to work on this if resources become available in the future.
Yeah.
Versus like I'm just like I need to be done. Like those are two very different things. And I would love to know that for people on the team for different things. So
Yeah, and that's why I'm doing this. I
think that's great.
do expect that some things will end up taking a back seat. That's just the way of life. But if we never call them out, they are for certain going to get chucked out the window and be by the side of the road, right?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I like that. I've been trying to think of a way to craft this as how do we go forward instead of, oh, now we have to finish our products, but there's no motivation because we're not getting any funding, right? That's not, that's just not a like a sort of a rallying call, right? Okay, I do not have anything else. Anyone else want to bring anything up?
If anybody's interested in the home performance conference stuff, so I sent around a draft abstract. Tammy provided feedback that it was too jargony, so I'm gonna work through that because Tammy, I figure you have enough going on right now. But if anybody else is interested in that at all, let me know. It's one of those things that I would still like to do, partially because I think it's a fruitful area to work, and I think it's going to help other things we're all up to still. So yeah, just an option. Maybe, I mean, I don't know if you want to help with that or participate in any way, or would be interested in just like observing as a listener, maybe just like send me an email or something like that. I think, and then I can loop you back into the proposal or include you on the proposal. So. Yep.
And they're
I don't
due
know if
like
you have anything else on that, Tammy?
they're due next week, right?
The 12th, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm happy to work with you, Ryan. You don't
Okay.
like, let me decide if I have too much going on.
I figure abstracts are like, it's almost easiest for one person to be like, this is what we're doing, and turn it in
No,
and put
it
names
is,
on
I thought it was a fine way to say what we're doing. I just thought nobody would understand it that read it of that crowd.
So I will put on my list to like
Mm.
make it less jargony, and then maybe if you want to look over it again, that would be great.
Like I bet
Agent.
that if they read the word contractors, they might not even think of themselves.
Oh, that's a good point. You
Right.
might just be better at thinking about what's jargony than me. So maybe just like label it, this is terrible, and I'll fix it.
You want me to flag stuff? Okay, I just
Yeah.
didn't even know if you were open to that, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm open to
I can do a lot of
yeah.
flags.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't remember the name of the email that was sent, and I, for some reason, can't find it in my inbox right now. Ryan, can you resend it? I've been to the
Yeah.
conference several times. I would be happy to review it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I will resend it around to the group. So I think, yeah, it was just on an old thread maybe. So
Okay.
Okay,
And
cool. If
I
you
can
don't
look
have
for
any-
some of that jargony stuff too.
okay, great. Thanks, Stacy.
Okay.
I will take the rest of the hour to put shortcuts in and call outs in the progress reports. Okay, well, thanks for joining and sticking around. See you next week. Have a good weekend, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks, Tammy. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.